Good afternoon, Facebook Live. It's a pretty but breezy Monday here in Austin, Texas. Hope y'all are doing well. Had a great weekend. Spent the weekend out in Lubbock. Spent a lot of time with my staff, and a couple of my board members were there as well. Got to spend some time with them. Um, the long drive back from Lubbock gave me an opportunity to do some thinking, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about today, and maybe even more than once this week. Would like to talk a little bit about emotional intelligence in both the workplace, but also in the realm of sports. I don't know if any of y'all followed Ted Lasso or not, but I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan. One of the best shows, in my opinion, that's been on TV in a long time. Ted was the kind of coach I tried to be. I didn't always make it. Sometimes I'd raise my voice. Sometimes I'd get a little angrier than maybe I should have. But I tried to be in that mode, even though I didn't know. Obviously, when I was coaching, Ted Lasso wasn't around, wasn't a thing. But a lot of things he did are things that I would do too. Different ways. For example, Ted had his relationship with Jamie, and you remember Jamie Tart early on in the series was just a horrible egomaniacal jerk. I mean, treated women poorly, treated his teammates poorly. It was all Jamie's world, and you were just lucky to live there. And Ted, instead of just dismissing Jamie's negativity, Ted would actively listen to him. That's a sign of emotional intelligence, active listening. He would always try to understand the way that Jamie would act the way he did, but, he figured out that Jamie had a pretty troubled past, and through that troubled past, some pretty deep insecurities about, whether he was actually good enough or not. A lot of that came from the relationship with his dad, the odd relationship with his mom. But, he basically would say, hey, I know that relationship with your dad had to be tough. And he created a safe space for Jamie. Well, I used to do similar things when I would be doing drills with my kids. I actually learned this one from Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, I called it the compliment donut. You would have a good thing to say, and then you would give them the actual teaching part of it in that donut hole. And then you would end it up with another compliment. A good example. They're working in drill. Hey, I'm trying to come up with a name that doesn't give away the farm here, but hey, Austin, really liked your enthusiasm on that play, but when you go and make that block, you actually need to concentrate on getting your head there, your arms here, and you kind of grab that jersey a little bit. Probably wouldn't have gotten called, but, maybe you ought to work on your technique a little bit better. And then you'd ended up with the juicy part, the good part of the donut. But again, you're working hard. I love your enthusiasm. Just work on that technique just a little bit better, and you're going to be knocking them dead. Way to go, kid. And I'd send them on their way. You got that negative part in the middle, the part that they need to know. But the part that you called on that emotional intelligence, that emotional maturity, you recognize that if you just go straight to that, iron fist, they may not be as receptive to it. They've got to know that you're there, you're on their team, you want them to succeed. I tried to do, when I started at the agency 6 years ago, my predecessor was a yeller and a door slammer and an insulter, and I had to rebuild, the human resources there at the agency. And I came in, I immediately tried to assess everybody the best I could. Very quickly found out that everybody was, good at their jobs. They just needed that validation, that positive reinforcement. And I also threw down some challenges. My operations director had not done a lot of, financial stuff. Well, we needed a finance director. And even though I knew that right then and there, she wasn't, didn't have the tools to do that. I knew that she had the potential to grow into a lot of those jobs. So I took part of those jobs and gave them to her, part of those jobs gave them to my office manager. And then I hired an outside contractor who we're still using, frankly, for some of the stuff that those two folks weren't able to do. I gave them raises to accommodate their new roles. But with it, I gave them both a challenge for the short term, but also the long term to show the growth necessary to end up becoming a better and more more vital part of the organization. Not that they weren't vital already, but I showed them the confidence in them that they needed to grow professionally and a little bit personally. And so that's what I want to leave you with. Again, always focus on the positives, but get that coaching, get that negativity taken care of as well. And the negativity part of it is, it's the coaching. It's here's what I need you to do instead. Here's what I need you to do now. But again, thrilled you're here. Glad you're on the team. Love the hard work. Love the attitude. So focus on your emotional maturity, your emotional intelligence, and it will pay benefits in the long run. I've seen it happen. I'm seeing it happen every day. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you later.